Hello and Happy New Year. I'm not sure if I'll do a video tomorrow. I may do just one in honor of the New Year's Eve. But for today, just in case I don't get to it, I want to make sure I get some 2026 focused messages out for you. I'm going to use the archetype deck and stick with the archetype today or in this message. Wow. Okay, Spirit. The bridge. We'll get more with that. Nectar. The forest. Then we have Mother and came out with Alethea. And I'll stop there. The bridge is like a connecting from one thing to another, from one person to another. In fact, let's see. Get more on it. See whatever pops out. The connection, the line, the gate. Bridges are built to connect worlds. They create flow, allowing us to travel between realms, ideologies, and personalities. This archetype is the gesture of acceptance, of saying yes rather than withdrawing, separating and saying no. When we cross a bridge to an unknown land, we are led magically into a new reality. We open up to otherness. Healing and communication are made possible. Okay, so I'm thinking it's like, for instance, how you had the whole conversation about closed borders and border control. This being the opposite, opening the gates, opening the separations even between countries, between homes, between families, between neighbors, letting flow, allowing us to travel between realms and ideologies. And I'm thinking of religion. So in 2026, instead of being closed up, we are opening the gates. We are opening the heart chakra. We are opening up to other people with other faiths. It doesn't matter if you're Hindu, if you're Buddhist, I will flip out a Hindu-based deck in a heartbeat. And no, I'm not offending the Lord. You know, I'm Christ consciousness. I wouldn't say traditional Christian, but I do follow the teachings of Christ. But I do know that Jesus was never about closing off anyone. He lived in a way that was very much the bridge. In fact, he was condemned by many at that time for being open to the homeless, being open to people who had disabilities, being deaf, blind, being open to someone who was a prostitute, being open to just having a conversation to heal these people, to love these people, accepting love from them. You know, his heart chakra was open and he was condemned for that. And you know, people that claim to be Christian, which is based on Christ, believe it or not, they have the nerve to have the most closed hearts you will ever come across and closed minds, all in the name of, and that is to me the most corrupt way to live. Jesus would not want that. It's a slap in the face to him, to anyone who aligns themselves with the true Christ consciousness. That's not what I was supposed to be, or I didn't know I was supposed to be talking about that. But there you have it, the bridge. And I've got other cards to go through. So, okay, the bridge. What does this have to do with the nectar, which is that sweet spot? Finding the sweet spot in life, you know, finding that sweet I would say, common ground. Instead of looking for what to criticize and judge with thy neighbor or, your brother or your sister, finding what is, what you guys can live peacefully talking about, what you guys can come together on. Because you'll never be just like anyone. There's always going to be differences. So why not just focus on what you not just agree upon, but can be in a good energy with someone else with, and just not even focus on, so what if somebody else is a Republican? Are you kidding me? You're going to allow that to draw a line and a boundary between you and someone else because they don't believe in the same person or system as you? This is a human being. This is another person with a heart. That should be the only thing that matters. So finding that sweet spot, which to me is just love, is just respecting that someone else has a heart. That's all that's important. Confirmation by the beautiful geese. And then the forest, what's that have to do with anything? The woods, the thicket, the jungle. Consider for a moment your earliest moment of the forest. It likely included all the mythic dynamics of this archetypal space. A little fear, a little enchantment, perhaps losing your way, perhaps discovering a secret mystical treasure. Such is the magic of the forest. It requires first that you enter it, and then that you get lost within it. You may think there is a path to lead you straight through, but soon enough you'll be on what is known as the pathless path. There are tricksters here, dense foliage and entanglement, but equally present are the glimmers of fairy light and friends among the trees. I'm seeing this clearly as there are tricksters here as far as you can fall into a trap every time meeting a new friend or speaking with an old friend, of arguing over inconsequential things that will never really matter. In the scheme of things, they won't even matter. But arguing and drawing lines with people that you love. I was thinking killing a relationship, but I don't mean killing. I can't find another word. But a friendship, like basically ceasing it before it can even get off the ground because you find out somebody believes in one thing that you don't believe in. That's so ridiculous when you think about it. So yeah, you can find fairy lights, that sweet nectar, but you can also fall into the trap of just not giving someone else a chance or making a judgment against them based on differences. And then last, we have these two together, Alethea and the Mother. I don't think I've been showing you the cards. Sorry about that. So let's combine. Let's see Alethea. We know the Mother. Truth. Our soul recognizes truth. When someone speaks it, a cool wave of relief washes over the room, and all the facts and figures in the world fall by the wayside. Such is the power of Alethea. I'm thinking, and with the Mother, before I go into that, the Great Mother, the Feminine, the Source. We begin our archetypal story with the Mother's love. Through her sensual, fertile, and life-giving energy, all creation takes form. Regardless of our birth story, each of our hearts beat for the first time in the warm womb of the Mother. I'm thinking of this as love, Source. We all are connected with that. That's all that matters. That's truly all that matters. and it connects us all. And with Aletheia, that's the truth. God is saying focus on the truth, not on, like you said, do away, let the facts and figures fall away. All of that stuff that you argue about. And a lot of intellectuals tend to do that. They're so based on facts and figures and what they've read. They forget to live and just be. So ridiculously silly when you think about it. Life is much simpler and can be much sweeter, like that nectar, if we allow it to be. And God is saying in 2026, that's where we are all being awakened to. You know, we've been awakening in 2025, and I think we're going to see the results of so many masses of people awakening, awakening even more in 2026. It's going to be a beautiful year. So bless you all, and I will see you in the next reading.